Joining me now to discuss that report showing the situation in Madagascar and the World Food and Hunger profile elsewhere is the Executive Director of the World Food Programme, David Beasley. Mr. Beasley, if I could ask you first of all, it's become a sort of headline that what's happening in Madagascar is the first climate change famine. I don't know if you agree with that, and if you do agree, what does that mean?
Well, Adam, what you're talking about is this is the beginning of many of these types of events around the world. We're already seeing mass number of more hurricanes and droughts and flash flooding. Madagascar is the beginning. And this is, I mean, what you just saw, if that doesn't break your heart, nothing will. And so these people are going to die unless we do something. So while at COP26 people are working on long-term solutions, we've got to provide short-term solutions so that these people can survive. And this is what I'm most concerned about right now, because just where she was, where Alex was, you got 1.3 million people marching to starvation. And Adam, out of that, 484,000 of those are knocking on famine's door. I was just down there myself. I've seen these children. They're dying right before your very own eyes. And it's only climate related, not conflict, not COVID, climate and climate alone.
And what can be done in the short term to alleviate that situation?
Well, there are two things. One is we need money and food to come down there and save their lives on the immediate spot. But number two, we've got resilience programs where we can come in and water harvest, drill wells, holding ponds so that people can survive until there's long-term solutions. They're either going to die or they have to migrate. There's one of the two. That's the only choices we have on the immediate term. So while the world, the developing nations are struggling, and here we have a country, a people that have done nothing to contribute to the climate crisis, and we have a moral obligation to come down and give them the tools necessary to put water back into their lives so they can grow their own crops, take care of themselves, because we just can't continue to send food. We need short-term solutions as well as long-term solutions, and we've got those solutions. They need to be funded.
Now, this question of the aid that's needed to sort out world hunger has become a bit of a bone of contention on social media, with Elon Musk, the multi-billionaire, challenging you, saying that if the World Food Programme can describe on this Twitter thread exactly how $6 billion will solve world hunger, I will sell Tesla stock right now and do it. Is that what you're saying, that $6 billion could sort out world hunger and he's got the money?
Two things. I'm so glad that Elon's entered the conversations, and I look forward to getting that check, that money from him, because we will prove very clearly to him that with that $6 billion, we can save the lives of 42 million people knocking on famine's door around the world. And let me say this, Adam, it won't just save those lives, but it will also keep nations from being destabilized, and it will keep mass migration by necessity from happening. So it's a win-win for everybody. I mean, just yesterday, Elon's stock went up $21 billion. I just need $6 billion of it. He's got over 300 billion. I'm not picking on Elon. I want him to make money, but you know, with this crisis, one-time crisis we're facing right now because of COVID, we need some help because governments are tapped out, and I need for the world's wealthiest billionaires to step up, save some lives, and show the world you care, because capitalism is good, but you got to share the wealth with people in need, and that time is now.
I mean, it has to be said, if you look at the scale of the money that's being talked about here for climate change, transfers of $500 billion or even $1 trillion from richer nations to the poor, net transfers, $6 billion sounds awfully little.
No, Adam, that's what's amazing. There's 400 trillion, actually $430 trillion worth of wealth on Earth today. We're just talking about a drop in the bucket. And for example, just in the last 12 months, in the United States, the top 400 billionaires' net worth increase went up from 2.8 billion to 4.5 billion. All we need is 0.34%. I said 0.34, not 34. 0.34% of that to solve this problem that we're facing right now. That's not too much to ask. We can do it.
And at the program, how much money are you getting?
Well, we have our normal operations, which is between 8 and 9 billion, but because of the COVID one-time crisis that we're facing on top of everything else. This is why we need the extra $6 billion for those in that 42 million people in that what we call IPC4 knocking on famine's door. And so we need $6 billion to reach them over the next 12 months. And that's one meal a day at about 43 cents per day. And we're not talking about a whole lot of food, but at least will allow them to survive and make it to the next day.
David Beasley of the UN Food Programme, thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Thank you, Adam.